All right, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and this is entry 28 in my ongoing series of videos about or dealing with the as participation in the 2017 RPG a Day event. If this is the first video that you're watching in this series, then what this is I take or there are a list of different questions for each day for August 2017, and a bunch of us here on the internet answer the question and give our thoughts on it. So today's question is, what film series is the biggest source of quotes in your group? That is interesting question. I mean, I think that like a lot of folks, I mean, Star Wars is a very, very quotable trilogy. But I was thinking about it, and I think it's more a function of our age that dictates what films we get. We quote an awful lot. My gaming group is around my age. I'm 41, so our references are usually films from the 80s that we saw as kids. So there's lots of Predator and Terminator and Aliens and Running Man and Star Wars quotes that get thrown around in our gaming sessions. So it is. I'm trying to think if anything else has been, but it's been a matter of those as the go-to. When we were younger, there was more Monty Python stuff, but this is much younger. I mean, like I'm talking, between like 13 and 14, maybe 13 and 16. Now that just Monty Python quotes really just are irritating more than they are kind of funny callbacks. So I have not had anyone bring up like the Knights Who Say Knee or coconuts or any shit like that in quite a while. But yeah, I mean, and I think that it also I would say it depends on the game, because like our Star Wars campaign, we had lots and lots of Star Wars quotes in there, but that was also partly because I was shoehorning them in and I was actively rewarding the players with them when they would quote that. But for I ran 4th edition D&D last week, and we had a kind of get to the chopper quote, trotted out by one of the players when I really don't know what it was from. Tremors we've had quite a few quotes from too, but it was someone doing their Arnold Schwarzenegger impression when zombies started coming out of the ground. So yeah, I mean, and I guess it also really the people for characters who can are easily imitatable, actors and actresses who are really imitatable. That's what is a go-to thing. This is a bit of not quite answering the question, but I actually have, when I want to play or have an NPC character that the players are dealing with that's a bit of a like irritating scumbag kind of character, my go-to character is Paul Giamatti's character in a lot of things he's run, but in particular his character in the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes film, because he's just a total, just an oily, nasty, greedy merchant in that peddler of flesh, literally, I guess, in that film. So I get a lot of Paul Giamatti bits out in my games too, because it's my go-to reference. So yeah, I mean, that's a pretty short video, because I really don't think there's much more to say about that. I mean, the thing we do is because it, the people trot out quotes because it'll make people laugh, and that's what a good chunk of the role-playing experience is having a good time and laughing, right? So yeah, so that's the Highlander actually gets a fair amount of mileage as well too. Again, a film from the 80s. So I wonder if people who are younger, like gamers in their 20s, if they're trotting out a whole different set of references than what we older folks are, and if so, I mean, or if they're actually they're making, they were referred to and saw this, these movies well after the fact, and have started incorporating those references because it's just part of, of the thing. For instance, in mine, like I was second generation of gamers, right? Like I didn't start playing. I was born in '76, so I mean I was born before or after the first D&D set was out. I think I got to check the timing on that, but I think so. So I didn't start playing until '83 with the 82 or '83. I think it's '83 was the red box. But there's a reference in the DMG in the original Advanced Dungeons and Dragons DMG that refers to Monty Hall campaigns. And it was explained in that what it was. So I've used that reference since then. But I had no idea who Monty Hall actually was until, years later when my parents explained it, like, oh, well, that was a game show guy from, whatever, from when before I was born. So I wonder if some of those references and some of those quotes carry on past the lifespan of the actual source material. But I don't know if anyway, I mean that's my answer for the question for today. It's really not there's not a lot to dig into there, just some good quotable bits to think about. If you have any, I can't imagine you will, but if you have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding this video, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the section below, and I will endeavor to respond to that. If you have something that you use as quotes too, I'd love to hear those, because I'd be interested, in particular if you're a younger gamer. I'm curious what you use. Like, what are your sort of touchstones for reference material? Because I mean, I think that a lot of folks my age, like the gamers who grew up in the '80s playing, we probably all have pretty much the same things we refer to. Because if you're not going for an inside joke, you're going to go for a commonly shared kind of thing, which is going to be those films that we grew up with. So anyway, tomorrow's question. Let's see. I think tomorrow's when I'm diverging again. So the official question from tomorrow is, what has been the best run RPG Kickstarter you have backed? To be honest, I've only backed a handful, so that's not really I don't really have much to say about that, or at least not much meaningful to say. So I think what I will do is dive back into Runeslinger's questions. And I'm just looking over his questions. One of his questions is, suggest an RPG with engaging solo play. So I'm gonna think about that between now and tomorrow. And that's what I will answer for tomorrow. So anyway, thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you've enjoyed this series. This has been a lot of fun getting through this this month, even if there was a bit of a slog with some of the questions near the midpoint. But yeah, anyway, I will see you folks again tomorrow.